Hello and welcome to ScotRock, our brand new podcast by Climb Scotland, bringing you climbing stories and mountain tales from Scottish underdogs and local heroes.
Your hosts are the legendary, me, Callum McBain, and
me, Robert Mackenzie. Callum, what is the plan, bud?
Well, we both love interview podcasts, and for our jobs we get to travel around and speak to loads of different climbers. So we thought we would combine both of these things and share the stories we hear through this podcast.
That's right, we're not just interviewing the hardcore among you, but literally anyone that we think has a cool story to tell. And we know that there's a lot of you out there.
So keep an eye out every fortnight for the latest climber chat. And if you have anyone you'd like to hear from, or if you want to be in the show yourself, let us know and spread the ScotRock word.
And remember guys, when you get back out there climbing, back to the crags, back to the walls, be safe and do your buddy checks. Enjoy the podcast. Hey everyone and welcome back to ScotRock. This is Robert. It is a beautiful Monday morning and the best bit is we are now in phase 1 of the exit from lockdown in Scotland. Woohoo! That means climbing is possible again. Woohoo! Yes, you heard me right. Last week on the 28th of May, the Scottish Government announced the first steps in moving out of our lockdown. Now this is not a total free-for-all. It's still small first steps and restrictions on travel as well as public health advice on social distancing and hand hygiene and stuff. That is all still in place. So if we are planning our days, remember that it's really important to stay local, use our good judgment, follow the guidelines, be respectful to each other and other communities and other climbers, and to make good risk assessments for the activities that we're doing so that we can all get back to starting climbing and starting hill walking again safely. The Mountain Safety Group, led by Mountaineer in Scotland, it includes Mountain Rescue, Mountain Training, Association of Mountaineering Instructors, Glenmore Lodge. They have all been working extremely hard to get hill walking and climbing on the list of approved activities. So I think we can all say a huge thank you to every single one of them for all the efforts they've put in. It is because of them that we can now get back out there. They have also created guidelines for anyone heading out to the outdoors, which you can find on the Mountaineering Scotland website. That is mountaineering.scot, along with a facts document as well, kind of question and answers for all of you that want to know exactly what the guidelines mean and what we can get back to. At this moment, they have a list of suggested activities for phase 1, which is hill walking up to Munro level, low level bouldering and top roping. But the basic outline of everything is stay local. The travel advice for exercise is still to stay within a short distance of your local community, broadly within that 5 miles, walking, cycling, rollerblading where possible. Try not to drive if you don't have to. Be safe, keeping your hands clean, washing them regularly, using a hand sanitizer, stop licking people. You can meet people from one household outdoors, but keep your 2 meters social distancing. Try not to hug anybody, please. Remember to take it easy, stay well within your capabilities. Try not to take any unnecessary risks with the things that you're doing. Yeah? Take it easy. Be thankful we can get back out there just climbing again. It doesn't have to be project, it doesn't have to be hard. It can just be moving on easy stuff. Enjoy it. It's only for a little bit. Yeah. Be prepared. Bring maps, compasses, wear the right clothes, bring the right equipment. Remember that mountain rescue assistance at this time might be limited. So be self-reliant in the mountain. They might not be able to come and get you straight away. Okay, so be prepared. Bring what you need and be ready to be out there for a little bit longer than you might normally be if you get into trouble. Be considerate of other hill walkers or climbers, others in the community, landowners, farmers. Everybody else is still going to have their concerns about all this, so just be considerate when you get out there. Try and avoid honeypot areas if you can. If areas start to get too busy, you can, if you're struggling to be socially distant, consider being the bigger person maybe and heading somewhere else. Have plan A, plan B, plan C in your head. Just trying to be considerate of everybody else. But anyway, stay local, be safe, be prepared, and be considerate, and enjoy the outdoors, whether that's going to your local park, crag, hill, whatever it is. But let's get back to the episode. This week we have one of the coolest people that I've ever had a chance to work with, actually. I really, really like working with Wynne. We met when she was opening up the youth climbing club in Lochgoilhead. Mum, climber, mountaineer, architect, spoon carver, and notably mountain rescue member. Anna and her family live a pretty wild and adventurous life. It is really cool, and she is a really, really cool person. I really enjoyed this chat. And despite me knowing and working with her for over 3 years now, I honestly didn't know that much about her life before we met. So this was a really cool fact-finding mission for me as well, as we were going through this recording. It was a really cool chat. So yeah, I hope you are now listening to this on your way or coming back from the crag or the hills, or in your garden, on your homeboard in the sun, just enjoying yourself. I hope you enjoy the conversation with Wynne. Start, I better make sure that I've actually got her name right here. Yeah.
Thanks, Rob.
No worries. It's only been, 3.5 years?
Yeah.
3.5 years. I should know by now. Cool. Right, we are sitting down with Wynne.
Hi.
Hi. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
She's not nervous for this at all.
No.
No. Taking it in her stride. No. Not a single bead of sweat.
Nothing.
So Anna is a super psyched mountaineer. You are super keen. Just loves getting out there. You run the Lochgoilhead Youth Climbing Club.
I do.
Yeah, this is how we met. And you've also got a family here in Lochgoilhead.
I have a wild family.
Wild
family.
You run your own architecture business just out of the house.
I do.
Yeah.
In my real life.
And you're also a member of the Mountain Rescue team. Which Mountain Rescue team is it?
Arrochar Mountain Rescue team.
Yeah. So you are pretty active. You've got a lot going on. You've got a lot going on. A lot of it in the mountains, and you are living in a pretty prime spot for the mountains, aren't you?
It's very beautiful.
Yeah, it is absolutely gorgeous down here.
Yeah.
And your house is lovely. We're sitting in your living room kitchen area. It's gorgeous. So I've known you for a little bit. We just worked out 3.5 years. God, that time has passed really quickly, hasn't it?
It's really flown.
Really
I can't
quickly.
believe the club's been running that long.
And we connected through the club, and over the last couple of years I've got to know you a little bit, but obviously in doing this I have to do a little bit of research to figure out what questions I'm going to ask. You have literally no online presence. You have nothing. I couldn't find anything online.
I'm on Instagram.
You're on Instagram, and that's it.
I'm on Instagram.
That is it.
Yeah.
And all of your photos on Instagram or Facebook are just you and your kids.
Are they?
Yeah, pretty much.
No, on Instagram is so I'm Anna.Wynne on Instagram.
Right.
And
you got yourself some
that
followers there.
is my I have got some it's a really crazy mix on my Instagram of architecture, of mountain people, of people that make things. So I do green woodworking. So it's just like a really random mix, and a bit of family life and trips and adventures.
Oh,
so,
well, that shows my level of research.
There's a lot of snow in there. Yeah.
Good. So I mean, I couldn't find that much. Right. So I will admit to not actually knowing too much about your story.
All right.
Actually. So this will be like a sort of good get to know you for me as well as anybody else who's listening to this. So to start with, let's kind of go deep. Let's go deep. So who are you as a climber, mountaineer, general outdoorsy person? What would you categorise yourself as?
I think I'm allowed to call myself a mountaineer.
You think you're allowed?
I think I'm allowed. I spend a lot of time up mountains. I'm a mountain obsessive. Even in architecture, I'm a mountain obsessive. Oh, yeah? So I did a lot of my research projects on how to build things up mountains, looking at landslide mitigation, looking at crazy projects that are up mountains, and how to stop the weather coming in, or things getting avalanched away, or things getting blown away. Yeah. So it's a kind of a across the board passion is mountains.
Wow, that's really interesting.
So I did my work placement in Canada and BC. And we did big road trips up to Alaska and back down through the Rockies, looking at remote projects, trying to use sustainable materials, all that kind of stuff. So it's all mountain related.
Wow.
But way back, I'm from Hertfordshire, which is completely flat, really boring. And I ran away from there as quickly as possible. It's got beautiful oak woods, and that's about all it's
Anybody
got.
listening from Hertfordshire is just turned off. Yeah, we've lost them.
So I got away from there as quite young, and I've been sort of adventuring from place to place for a while. I've lived by the sea, and then we've been in Scotland about 10 years, and as soon as I got here, I applied to join the Mountain Rescue, and which I never thought they'd let me in.
Yeah.
Because they're like, you what? And it's just been a big adventure since that.
Cool.
I mean, there's other stuff kind of that's led up to that.
Yeah.
I didn't just jump into it, otherwise they wouldn't have let me in. But
so how did you end up in Scotland then?
we moved up to Scotland because we were living in the city and it was doing my head in. And we couldn't afford to live in the countryside, but we got a family opportunity to renovate a house, and being an architect, I went, yeah, cool, I'll do that. We've done sort of building projects and stuff quite a lot, and lived in a lot of plaster dust for a long time. And it was my husband's granny's old house.
Right.
So we thought, that's enough.
This place?
No, the one before this.
Right, okay.
Which was over near Drummond in Killern.
Nice,
that was an opportunity to get up Scotland and see if we liked it. And we did.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I can see why.
And
I can see why.
And we've just moved gradually closer towards the mountains a bit more since then.
So
and other projects.
This sort of passion you've got for just outdoors in general, and the mountains, is this something that was always there, or something you've kind of gradually kept discovering over?
It's always been there, and I don't really know why, because I've come from a flat place. I've got an uncle who is quite a keen mountaineer.
Yeah.
And my dad was a rambler and a hill walker.
Oh, nice.
And I got packed off to kids camp every summer for a couple of weeks with forest school camps, which was an amazing experience. So I just realised very early that I just loved being in nature, and climbing up the most ruggedy things possible was the most exciting thing, and anything basically that gave me the excuse to go up a hill, get a view, get away from things and be in nature and get muddy was great. So I've just been kind of looking for all the opportunities to do that ever since.
Nice. So this is like, something that's been growing up through your childhood then, but your parents kind of, I was about to use the word pushed you into it, but give you all the opportunities anyway.
Well, the camp did, and then they were pretty good about me going off on my own and going and staying in youth hostels or sort of with friends to just go walking in the lakes or sort of get the train off to random places.
Yeah. From when? How old are you?
From 15.
Nice.
I'd sort of 14, 15. I'd sort of would go and stay with friends and do stuff like that. And the camping organisation was quite a big part of my life growing up. My mum went when she was a kid as well. Yeah. So it's kind of been quite a good... it's a magical organisation, actually. It's really good. And I now staff that with... so I take kids and stuff that now I've stayed with the organisation as an adult. Right. And it's a charity, and it gets kids out of cities. So having done things like my ML... That's the dog in the water bowl. Having done things like my ML has been useful to kind of feed into that as well, and lots and lots of things from Mountain Rescue have fed into other parts of my life in a really useful way. Okay. But that's one of them as well. It's a fantastic organisation, and and been a big part of my life, and I'm really excited about maps as well. So I used to have maps all plastered around my walls as a kid.
Maps
just
of where?
And I used to get people talk about getting itchy feet. Yeah. I actually physically had not itchy feet I had some kind of fungal problem, itchy feet which I don't, but I had itchy feet for imagine because I've got quite a 3D brain. So I would just be imagining these places and itching to go and do adventures, and it was a difficult teenage time because it was a very physical it's like plus I was like quite angry with the world as well anyway, so I was like angry with politics and everything, so like it was a combination of all this stuff. I just had to get out there, and if someone had told me younger like what you need to do is do more like physical stuff that will help release all of this energy. Because people used to look at me going, "You're very angry, aren't you?" I'm like, "I just gotta get out of the world is wrong. I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get up that mountain." I'm not very good at like sitting still.
You say you have maps on the wall. I'm guessing this wasn't maps of Hertfordshire.
I had no. I had a map of Barra. Because it's sort of like a turtle, it's so beautiful. It's
sort of like a turtle.
Yeah, I think it's like Barra. Yeah, is that the one? I think it sort of looks a bit like a turtle.
I am going to have to go and look at a picture of Barra now. See if it looks like a turtle.
And like Lake District maps of places that I'd been to a little bit. Maps of Dartmoor, because that's quite cool to kind of, because it's sort of flat but it's so wild, so it's quite cool to kind of have a look at. And I had maps of Alaska. And I was like, one day I'm going to go there, watching Northern Exposure. That looks amazing. And then I did, and I went, and I was like, yes.
So were you sitting in your room looking at all these maps, like looking out the window at flatland, and looking at all these contours on a map and going, what does that look like?
Oh dear. I joined the Venture Scouts because I thought that like, I got kicked out the normal Scouts because apparently I was being a bad influence on the boys. But I tried to do the Venture Scouts.
You were being a bad influence on the boys?
I tried to do the Venture Scouts for a bit, and that was alright, but it was just running around in the woods, and it was a bit like of paintball-y kind of a thing, and that wasn't enough.
Yeah. Were you going around beating up all the boys?
No, I don't really. I don't know. I don't really know. I just anyway.
So then
So I was just trying to prove myself in some way. Yeah. Anyway. Blah blah blah. and other issues. Did I mention I was an angry teenager? Anyway.
So you come up through your teenage years. You start to go on these little trips, getting to train on your own and stuff, and then you ended up out in Canada. For your work placement and stuff.
Yeah.
For your studies it was.
Yeah. So I did a lot of different jobs. I've done a lot of different making jobs. I've worked in construction. I've worked in building work. I've done landscaping. I've done a lot of making and stuff, prop making. Yeah. And then for a while, I was sort of trying to mill about and work. I did blacksmithing for a while. I went to college and learnt to be a blacksmith for 2 years. So I've always been like a maker as well. Yeah. And then worked out that actually architecture was probably a good combination of all of these things. So it's just making on a bigger scale. Yeah. And that was also going to be part of like making things up mountains and so the work placement year of my architecture course, which takes 7 years, we went and did in Vancouver. And I worked for a practice in Vancouver, and we went and we taught snowboarding at the local ski mountains as well, because that was like the mountain connection with being there as well. It was a good excuse to go and play. Made some lovely friends there. Did a big road trip up to Alaska and back down through the Rockies. And we've actually found a place on the way back down round that we're going on another adventure back to soon.
The adventures never end. The adventures will never end.
So a continuation of that, looking for more mountain. I'm quite torn. We absolutely love Scotland. We love Scotland, and through the mountain rescue, rewind slightly. Right. Yeah. So we're going to go and live in the Rockies for 2 years. Yeah. From about this August. And that is so that I can do some architecture work there, because it's got a ski hill and my kids love skiing. Yeah. They're really into it. And we still ski a lot. We want to do more ski touring, a snowboard, split board, and I can still do mountain rescue there. And we've got some nice friends, and we're going to go and have an adventure and try living closer to a ski hill. Nice. The hardest decision about doing that, apart from leaving some friends and family here for this 2 years to go and see how we get on with it, was leaving my mountain rescue team. Oh. Sabbatical from my mountain rescue
Sabbatical.
team.
You'll be back.
From my mountain rescue team.
You know you'll be back.
So I had like bit of personal mountaineering skills, experience of being in the mountain in the winter from teaching and doing various adventures and stuff. But I joined the mountain rescue team. I applied to join the mountain rescue team in Arrochar pretty much as soon as we got to Scotland. And I started from quite a low base level compared to a lot of people on the team.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people on the team who are already outdoor instructors or
super
really experienced mountaineers. Yeah, amazing folks, really inspiring. So I started from quite a low base level, and I have just learnt so much and made amazing connections. Because there's so many areas to cover in mountain rescue that would be everything from Land Rover driving, how to get in and out of a helicopter, avalanche rescue, all the first aid. So I've got up to CAS care in my first aid and EMT.
Wow.
And just being part of a team is amazing. I just absolutely love it. And it's for all the things that I thought that I could do in architecture, sort of like the physical environment, making spaces that people enjoy. Yes, I do care about that, but actually when I feel like I'm looking after my kids and everything that I'm supposed to do, but the thing that I really feel like I'm actually making a difference is in mountain rescue, and it's a great feeling to be part of a team doing something like that. It's really special. It's like a family in itself to be part of as well. And my skills have just, it's been fantastic. Yeah. It continues to be fantastic. And I'm going to transfer that to Canada, and then if we come back again as well. So
Cool.
Yeah.
So I think you've actually answered one of the questions I was going to ask later on.
Oh,
but it's all right. We will get back on it. It's fine. Arrochar Mountain Rescue. You said you joined it when you just moved straight up to Scotland, and you're walking into this team of people that are super experienced. What level of experience did you have when you first joined? You've been away to Canada, and stuff, and
less than I thought I had.
I love that, just walking in with all the psych under the sun.
So I'd climbed a bit. I had experience of being in the mountains in winter. I actually love the cold. I love snow, so I can kind of cope with that. I've got quite a good. I'm lucky. I've got quite a good internal radiator. I can kind of cope with a reasonable amount of stuff like that. And I was just keen to learn, and I had my fitness wasn't and my hill fitness was also needed a bit of work. But I just had I'd had a 1-year-old baby as well and a 2-year-old. So juggling all of that, it's understandable that they needed a bit of time to kind of warm into it.
Yeah, of course.
But even if I'd had loads of climbing experience, still coming into mountain rescue, there's the kind of rigging that you do is a different head on to personal climbing anyway. The way that you rig things, the kind of size of the setup that you need, and the way that you work as a team, that's all completely different. I really like it. But my base level was pretty low. So I was hill walker with some winter experience, a bit of climbing. I'd done my sort of overnighting camping in wildy places, and some first aid. So that was that's the level I was coming in at.
And all the psych under the sun.
All that itchy feet energy that I was talking about when I had a kid.
Now you've got somewhere to direct it.
And they were.
Cool. Yeah, we'll carry on from here.
Yeah. So actually one of my biggest learning things on the team is actually not all of the technical stuff that I've had to learn. The biggest thing, and it's Ross Cady will definitely testify to this one, because he's told me quite a lot of times, is slow down and shut up. It's Anna's rule for life. Slow down,
and shut up.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and then everything's fine. Because then I go, I can do this, and I need to not say the stupid things out loud. I just slow down, look at this rationally, and all the pieces come into place so much easier.
So, give us a kind of a rundown of what life as a mountain rescuer actually looks like. Like, for those that don't know what actually goes on, it's not, just getting called out and going out on jollies every now and again. Like, what does all the background kind of work look like?
For our team, so we get around 20 call-outs a year. Yeah. So that's not a massively busy team. Like, certainly nothing compared to like Lake District teams or anything like that. Or even some of the busier teams, Lochgoilhead and Glencoe. But what it means is that we infill that with loads of training. So we train once a month for a full day. So we just had a brilliant winter training day just the other day, and I had in wildy weather. So there's like full day a month, and then an evening in between on a Wednesday night. And then there's all the SMR Scottish Mountain Rescue training programmes and courses that you can go on. And you kind of have to, along with your training coordinator on the team, you have to kind of keep all of your skills topped up. It's your responsibility to kind of keep all of those topped up. Whether that be search management, rigging in summer and winter, your first aid, off-road driving, all the different things that kind of the pieces. And also there's some new courses which are about looking after your team members' mental health as well. Really important things like that. And it's kind of up to you. You can do lots of those, or you can just kind of keep them ticking over, and everybody's got their own capacity in their family time. When you get a call out, it was a bit of a team decision. Have I got cover here? Can I just drop everything and run out the door? Which there's a bit of negotiating. But generally, I have a very understanding family. And my husband's on the local voluntary fire as well. So, and I do, I'm the community first responder. So if I'm on duty for that, I tend to override. So we've got all the emergency services covered.
That's it.
Did you see all the jackets hanging up when you
came in? Is that all the emergency services jackets? So Lochgoilhead Emergency Services is in this house. Excellent.
Much. Yeah, you're fine. Actually, I think you'll be alright on your own anyway.
I hope I never have to call you. It's
alright, if you do, I won't tell anybody.
Thanks, appreciate that one. Keep that one under wraps. That can be part 2. We'll part 2 of the podcast. We can chat about the major mess up I've made.
Excellent. And the team training was really good. We've had a couple of. I just did the winter rigging, which was 2 weekends ago. And the Saturday was in gusting sort of 70.
Was that during Storm Ciara?
It was the one before. No, that was last weekend, which we were out in for doing winter training.
Nice.
And with a joint exercise with Oban. And that was good, but most people couldn't feel their fingers for quite a lot of the day. It was sort of just sideways 50 mile an hour sleet, which was really, really pleasant.
Excellent.
And an excellent learning environment. As you can imagine. And the weekend before that, was it the weekend before that? One before that was the other big storm that just came through.
Dennis,
I think. So the first day we were doing winter rigging up above the CIC hut, and that was not loads of precipitation, but crazy gusts. So we're all trying to do this, and it was just crazy gusts.
Because that would have been spiralling in the Corrie as well, wouldn't it?
It was crazy.
All the spindrift from everywhere.
Well, no, and then the Sunday we got the cable car up around to Arrochar, and we and that was less gusty, but just constant sideways and no visibility. So that was lovely as well. And then we were just about to sack it off. And Lochgoilhead got a call out, and 2 of the instructors that were helping on the training. So we all got helicoptered off to go over on the back of the Ben to go look for somebody for the next 4 hours.
Got caught in the... Was it?
No, this was a Slovakian guy.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so we spent about 4 hours looking for him. But it did clear, actually, once we got a helicopter back off again. It was really beautiful.
Yeah.
So that was a good adventure weekend.
Nice.
Yeah. So that it can be that, or it can just be we poodle down, have some coffee, and we talk about how to use our radios better, or something like that. It's a real mixture of things.
So it's a really busy schedule, all this, isn't it? Like,
I do pile it on a little bit.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't use my sofa very often. The sofa,
well, you've got all this energy to burn off, haven't you?
The sofa doesn't get much of a look in.
That angry teenager's still there that needs to burn off all this energy. That's what it is.
Well, I know, and politics has just got even worse. So I'm even more, you've got even more to rage about. That's why Scotland's better. And I infill with making things still.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of that. And so we've just got animals doing laps around the table.
Dogs going nuts
the
because the
cat's
cat's
on
up
the
on the
table and the dog's doing laps. Stick it in your bed.
Right, come on. Put you down.
The menagerie is trying to take over.
So you said that all this training and stuff for mountain rescue has actually been quite useful outside of mountain rescue.
It's been used, yeah.
Like that's a lot of skills that you're learning, and like a lot of that will be transferable everywhere else as well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What are like kind of the major ones that you've kind of taken from it?
So I guess like practical skills are physical confidence, technical confidence, sort of being able to plan and safely be in the mountains.
Yeah.
So I did my ML and I did my winter ML training.
Right.
And the training was fantastic. I did that up at the lodge with Sam Leary, and it was great fun. And so the actual practicalities, and then I think the working understanding about myself and how I work in a team. The slow down, shut up. Is good in every aspect of your life. It's a confidence thing, I think, that's been really good. So if I go and work I work for myself as an architect, but I'm planning to go back to working in an office.
Right.
And I should think that there's probably quite a lot of that sort of teamwork thing that would hopefully be transferable in there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's good, and those skills, obviously. So running the climbing club, which I do because I started off because my kids were keen on climbing. So we'd go for a walk, and like the only bit they were interested in doing was like scrambling on the sidey bits of the path and not actually being on the path because the path is boring.
I can 100% sympathise with that.
Cool. Yeah, totally. Because so can I. Yeah, the flat bits are boring, and this is look at all of that. So we've taken them on some good adventures. We've been hiking in Switzerland a bit, and obviously we've been back to Canada, and there's going to be a continuation of that Canadian adventuring. But we were taking them into Glasgow a bit, and then we realised, well, actually, we've got a climbing wall in the village here. I presume, do you want me to talk about the climbing club?
We will get on the climbing club.
Okay, cool.
We'll get on the club.
Okay, cool. So it's fed into lots of different things.
Yeah, cool.
Absolutely.
And I know you mentioned earlier that you're doing something in Sheffield.
Yes. Yeah. So there's not a massive amount of women in mountain rescue.
Yeah.
The numbers are growing, which is fantastic, and I think that there's possibly a perception that women are not physically strong enough to be in mountain rescue, but the amount of I'm bigger than stronger than some other, like men that I have seen on teams, so that's questionable. Obviously, physical ability is incredibly useful in a lot of the situations that we're in for various elements of it.
Going out there,
But you're working as a team, and not everything is about the physical capabilities of it. Even carrying a stretcher, doing a really long stretcher carry off a hill in difficult circumstances, I can certainly be a useful part of that stretcher carry, and you're swapping around anyway. And so many elements about being on the team, and not about that physical element. There's noticing stuff, organising stuff, the medical stuff, driving, so many, like, planning, organising. Yeah, I think just the observation, attention to detail, that's the kind of the most important part of it.
Yeah.
Just because you can hoof something up a hill, anyone can hoof something up a hill.
Yeah,
like,
you need the logistics behind it.
But they need to know what they're doing when they get there as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So the question. So I'm going to do a talk about how women can get into mountain rescue for the BMC at Sheffield Mountain Film Festival.
Yeah.
In a couple of weeks. Which would be really good fun.
Cool.
And there'll be lots of really cool other women talking about doing adventuring and stuff there.
Cool.
So that's really fantastic, because I think I think that broad range of skills in a team is super important, and that doesn't matter whether you're male or female.
It really doesn't. Would you be able to give us a snippet of your talk? Like how?
No, because I haven't planned it yet.
Oh,
I
right.
was asked to do it this week. No,
Excellent.
I'm going to go blah, 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 blah. No, I will plan it, obviously.
Yeah.
And it's kind of it's more of a roundtable discussion with a little bit of a presentation. It's not like a full-on talk.
So how would anyone get into mountain rescue?
Okay.
Not just women, but how could anybody do it?
Well, there are some basic skills. Obviously, I haven't planned this talk yet, but I'm going to do.
Well, this is the start of the planning.
Okay, right.
We can work through it together.
Yeah. Okay, well done, Rob. That's really good.
Yeah.
Right,
welcome to the podcast.
So
working
you
group.
need to be hill fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty important.
Cool.
Yeah.
Probably a
Need
good
to be
idea.
hill fit and kind of like understand what hill fit actually means. And hill fit, summer and winter can be different.
Oh yeah.
You want to have some preferably mountaineering and a bit of personal climbing experience, but it doesn't have to be masses. But you need to be able to be comfortable in different weather conditions. Some navigation skills would be good. So going and doing a nav course, like just
I
a
can
weekend.
see why that would be handy.
Just like just like a couple of days nav course. I can't remember what the qualification is for that, but doing some of that and getting out on the hill, knowing how to find yourself again. And basic first aid you want to come in with, and being good in a team and all right, not
Working as a unit.
It's always useful. General life rule.
Yeah, general life rule. I like it.
And just apply and speak to them and see. They tend to do like intake rounds. Our team's got up to sort of 30ish people on the team. Yeah. And we try not to have maybe 4 trainees at a time. Any more than 4 trainees is kind of a bit too much to handle, because you're kind of like wanting to actually be reminding people of their core skills and stuff rather than doing the learning stuff all the time. But it can be more than that, and having time commitment as well. So your job makes a difference. Yeah. We have got quite a few outdoor instructors on the team, which sounds wonderful, but actually if they're out on the hill with a group of kids, they can't just drop that in the daytime. So it's good to have a mixture of people. So architects, doctors, mechanics, we've got teachers, we've got a whole range of people. Yeah.
Lots of different skills going on.
Yeah, totally.
Good.
Lots of different skills, lots of different kind of approaches to problem solving, and different kinds of availability.
All the elements of a good team.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So I did another interview with Mick Ty the other day, which was amazing.
All right.
Actually,
amazing. Oh yeah, no pressure then, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, this is the club you're operating in here. And he actually asked me, because obviously he's old school mountain rescue. He asked me what the sort of the most common error is out in the hills, the thing that causes most incidents, most call-outs.
He asked you?
He asked me, and I'm ashamed that I got it wrong.
All right.
I got it wrong.
Oh, so it's a test. Okay.
Right. So, but he said, I mean, what would you say actually? Here we go.
Oh, no!
Here's the test. Here's the test.
Right.
Okay.
What's the most common error?
What's the most common cause of call-outs?
The most common cause of call-outs is a broken ankle.
See, that's what I said.
It is.
That's what I said.
Go on. Well, that is on our patch.
Yeah, so that's what I said.
Okay, sorry. No, that's the most common injury.
Yeah.
Right. So the most common call-out would be somebody not taking a map and compass with them and not being prepared.
Navigation.
Yeah, navigation. Yeah, and they rely on their phone and then they're lost.
I said the same as you. I thought slips and trips because when you look at
there's the most common injury.
When you look at the stats, it's all slips and trips. But actually, they had a slip and trip because they're in the wrong place.
Right, okay. Or just bad luck.
Or just bad luck.
Yeah.
So like he asked me that question. I'm ashamed that I got it wrong. But he said navigation.
I managed to redeem myself.
You did. You nailed it. Jeez. I can give a good report back to Mick now. Yeah, Arrochar on it.
Okay, I'm allowed.
Arrochar on it. So what would you say that some of the other big common mistakes are? What are things to watch out for? Because there's lots of people going out there now that really haven't truly thought it through. So what are things to...
there's all kinds. So people not understanding, people who've like come up to Scotland and in the winter the daylight is going earlier, so they kind of haven't factored that in. Lots of poor preparation about where you're going, telling people where you're going, kit you've taken with you that's not good enough, not warm enough, haven't got a proper torch. Loads of people without. I think the navigation and not having a torch with you, and people are trying to use the torch on their phones and the batteries have gone and they're using that for their navigation as well. Yeah. And it's just a whole disaster waiting to happen. People going up and finding snow patches because they thought it was the springtime. Yeah. And it's actually like really grainy loose snow, so it's even worse to try and like move across. And again, poorly equipped for it. So yeah.
I will admit to have done that, walking up and going, there's a big patch of snow where I'm going. Now I'm gonna have to try and go round it.
Or you post hole into it and you find a little burn and you're like, you've got wet feet. And it's just, it's all heading in the wrong direction from that point onwards, isn't it?
I've already told you my story about wet feet. I really don't want that one again. I really don't want that one again.
But your toe, you still can't feel the end of your toe.
I still can't feel the end of my toe.
Oh my goodness.
It's like the end of my toe is still numb. It's been a week now. Yeah, stepping in a river on the walk into a winter day is probably not the best of ideas.
No. On your winter mole training, you get told, what's the number one rule? If you can't wait that feet, that's your day done.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was like,
la, not listening.
It's a little damp, it'll be fine. Yeah. No, bad plan.
I've done a few with the mountain marathons and on a couple of the mornings. They sent us out in the morning and it snowed overnight. And they gave us the map, sent us off, and the first thing we had to do before we went into the snow was run through the burn and then into the snow. I was like, that is really cruel.
That's so harsh.
That's so cruel. And then I just couldn't feel my feet the whole day.
Oh, that's grim.
The whole day. But at least the navigation was really, really easy because you could just see all the footprints in the snow. Anyway.
So, being part of this mountain rescue thing, you've been out in some pretty horrendous conditions, not just in training as well, but on proper call-outs and stuff. So what's it like sort of looking, getting the call-out, looking at the weather and looking at the location that you're going to have to go out in and knowing that, I'm going to be out there for an unknown amount of time in that?
Well, the first thing, like the adrenaline's going, so you're like, we've got a call out and somebody needs your help, so you're kind of very focused on that. But you do have to it's not an apprehension. It's actually what you have to do is wind your excitement back in again, and that adrenaline of kind of the rush. You've got to drive sensibly to the call out for the first thing. A lot
slow
of
down, shut up.
Yeah, slow down, shut up. Yeah, that's like an actual big risk factor is just getting yourself even to the call out. Your number one priority is yourself. It has to be. And your second priority is the team, and your third priority is the casualty, and that's the way it really has to work. So although there's plenty of times when we've kind of pushed the limits of where we should be and what we're doing, because you do really need to try and wind that in. And it's tricky to do because everyone's like very focused on let's do that because this is what we've trained for. That's what we've got up.
Someone's out there needs your help, but you're no use to them if you've got yourself. So with
hindsight, there's situations that were probably riskier than we should have put ourselves in. Particularly like avalanche risk and things like that. you need to kind of be okay in the team to kind of flag things up and make a change and remember that you've got to kind of look after your own safety as well.
Yeah. What's it like being out there and like absolutely ripping
it's brilliant. I love it.
Hours?
I love it. So long as I've got enough swaps of gloves.
Yeah.
So long as I've got enough swaps of gloves, because but you can do that thing where you kind of make a fist, put them in.
Fingers out there.
Just keep in it. And I've got my goggles. And I'm all just wrapped up like a thingy with my buffalo layers and my thing on. I absolutely love it.
There's nothing about being. There's nothing like being totally wrapped up in all your gear, nice and cozy, but getting beaten by the weather.
Check it out. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it is a good feeling. That it is a good
it's
feeling.
It's really good because you're like beating the elements. You're like, aha, I'm where I want to be in it.
Yeah. So
it's great.
That leads me on to my last question on the mountain rescue stuff. That you kind of did answer earlier, but why?
Why mountain rescue?
Why mountain rescue? That's a deep question.
Oh, it is. Well, yeah. I suppose I did say it's an excuse to get in the mountains.
Yeah.
It's taught me loads of skills. And you get to help people. So that's pretty good. Yeah, I have done something useful. I've made the world a better place. So I've contributed to something useful. Yeah, so that's
I mean, there's lots of things like if you don't mind going out and getting beaten by the weather, there's loads of things in that are actually severe positives for you. Mm-hmm. Going out. It gets, like you said, it gets you into the hills. You love the mountains, you love getting out there. Even in crap weather, you love getting out there.
Almost especially.
You love helping people. You wouldn't be in the mountain rescue if you didn't want to help people. And all the things that it teaches you as well. Like there's actually quite a lot of benefits you can get out of it.
Massively.
It's not just doom and grim and misery.
No. It's like another family. It's good.
It is a family as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
All the mountain rescue members that I've ever met are all super tight with their team, which you have to be.
Oh, it's not to say there's not rocks, but there's rocks in families as well.
Of course.
But I remember the first time I went to the mountain rescue conference. So there's people coming from all the different teams, and that had that sort of gave me sort of this sense of this connectedness with everybody there. It was really cool.
That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool.
Really
Cool. Let's move away from mountain rescue stuff because we've talked about that for quite a while now. Actually, I didn't realise how long that had been. That was quite an in-depth chat.
Sorry.
No. So let's go back to.
Tell me to shut up. That wouldn't really work on a recording. Hooray!
Slow down. Shut up.
Okay.
Breathe. We got this.
Okay.
Good. So just back to the reason that we met. You are the leader, the chief, the queen almost of the Lochgoilhead Climbing Club. So who is the club? What was the aim? Why did it get started?
My kids like climbing.
Yeah.
And I could belay them, so I said, right, okay, let's find somewhere we can do this. And there's a bunch of other kids at the school that wanted to, so it snowballed.
Yeah. It's funny how that happens.
And once you start sort of saying, putting your head above the parapet and saying, I'll do this, I'll organise this. So there I am.
Yeah.
I've got some really, really supportive parents who show up and help out and are brilliant. And Arrochar Outdoor Centre, who've been super, super supportive. Yeah. And we use their climbing wall for free, which is very nice of them. And we get instructors from them. And I do annual fundraising to cover the costs and our Climb Scotland insurance that we've been working through. Who's the actual supplier of the insurance?
Mountaineer in Scotland.
Mountaineer in Scotland. Yeah. So we get really good cover, so I just have to kind of do like one fundraising push a year, and that kind of sets us going for the thing. We try and get outside when the weather allows in Argyll, which is always interesting.
It's always a tricky one
because you can't plan it ahead even slightly. So we get down to Glen crags. And we've used some other walls as well, and then a few of the other members have been going and doing their NIBAS at the TCA, nice. Which has been really good to feed into that. And I've got a good steady number of climbers, they're tiny.
Yeah, how old are they?
So it's the primary school.
Yeah.
So they're 5 to 11.
5 to 11.
And I used to try and do them all in one go, which is mental.
That's
but as
nuts.
you can contest it because you've been there and you've seen how mental it
I
was.
have been there.
And I said, this is probably not the most sensible idea. So I've split them between as they are in the school, because the school has just 2 composite classes, so they're kind of fairly used to that split. There's the first 3 years and then the 4 years above, and that seems to work pretty well. And they're a great bunch. They're rowdy as hell, and they're in a contained space in the climbing wall, which I think exacerbates things. But
it's like contained chaos.
Yeah.
As long as it's contained,
it's
though, it's all right.
It's safe.
It's safe.
Yeah. It's safe. But it's a little they've got energy.
Yeah, like
Which you'd
the couple of
expect.
times that I've worked with you guys, it's super high energy sessions, mega high energy sessions, and
they're
like
really sick, but they're excited about climbing, and that's the whole
they love it.
point. That's the whole point, is giving them physical confidence. And we're not going to be able to like train them up with them like all the technical skills. They're but we're introducing them to it.
You're letting them learn themselves.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're trying to give them some skills and techniques, but I mean, like, we're not. It's just it's a really good opportunity for them to find physical confidence in a safe environment, and I hope it will lead them on to. Well, I mean, when we get to go outside. That's even,
That's like the gold medal.
Yeah, it totally is. Yeah,
That's the
and
cake
it's a
at
shame
the
we
end of
don't
the
get
day.
to do that as many times in the thing. I mean, in the term, but that's I want them to be safe and comfortable exploring outside and this amazing environment we've got around us. And I think that's a really good starting point for them. Yeah,
So. No, it absolutely is. Like I said, like you guys are living in an amazing part of the world, surrounded by all this stuff. So giving them an introduction in our droid to allow them to go and experience this.
And they may end up being, getting their first job as, instructors and going through all the paces in that way. Or they may not, but they may be able to, in their spare time, go and have those adventures and be, confident doing that.
Yeah. No, like absolutely. I run a club as well, I've got at least 6 members now who all work in climbing walls. 4 of them work in the Glasgow Climbing Centre, which we operate, which is awesome. That's great. One of them's ended up through in Edinburgh, and one of them's up in Aberdeen.
Well done, high five.
Yes.
So, we're just supposed to do fist bumps.
Fist bumps.
Yeah, fist bumps.
Fist bumps are quieter on a podcast.
Sorry.
That's fine. No, it is great. Like giving them this introduction, it might actually start them off on maybe not a full career path, but some part-time work or whatever when they go to uni. And I know that's what my guys are using it for. So it's great. No,
So
it's really good.
when we talk about like winding it back, about how I kind of got into doing outdoory things. When I was at school, I was rubbish at all the sports on offer. Just totally rubbish. There was lots of ball sports and stuff. I was just totally rubbish at them. I think the one thing that I kind of did a little bit was trampolining, which I kind of liked a bit, but I was still rubbish at that. Hockey, I just got put in goal. It was just nothing. Like I couldn't do tennis, and I wasn't like a fast runner or anything. Nobody told me how to breathe when I was running, so I was like, this is horrible. So I just thought I was rubbish at it. So I just went into the technology workshop and just made things, which was also good. That was fine.
Yeah. Well, that's led to a pretty good career.
And it wasn't until I got into university and I did a lot of cycling. I went cycle touring quite a lot, so it was like good with that. So I was keeping like a reasonable level of like cardio fitness and stuff, and that was fine. And I had strong legs. And then I went to uni and I started doing kickboxing. There was a Thai boxing club, and I had like someone that was into that. And and I realised that I quite liked doing that. And I got quite good at kickboxing. I did it for years. And what happened? And I did some climbing as well. So we used to go places around. I was living in Plymouth for a bit. And we did stuff from down there. And And the combination of a bit of climbing and the kickboxing transformed like what my perception of what I could physically do and it gave me balance, coordination and strength and confidence. And the combination of those things has just seen me through all the way to now being able to go and do lots of mountaineering things and doing more climbing. And I run, which because somebody taught me how to actually breathe when you run, and that's like complements everything to be able to have that kind of cardio put in. But it none of the sports at school, unfortunately, gave me any kind of way in to getting physical confidence. I had to go and find those elsewhere. I'm really glad I did. And snowboarding as well. So when I tried skiing when I was younger, balance and coordination, again, I didn't have that. But then once I'd done the kickboxing and the climbing, that massively improved, and I discovered that I could do that as well. So I think offering a broader range of activities that kids can do, especially ones that get you outside, particularly like climbing, is really, really important. They don't do that at school.
No, absolutely, 100% agree. You've just sold climbing to millions of people. I'm hoping millions of people listen to this.
Hello, 3 people. So there.
Awesome. You've sold climbing. You've sold why it's good to join a club, because it just offers you that, doesn't it?
Totally.
So in terms of sort of running a club, what's it like running a club?
It's a little bit of a stress sometimes, but actually, when you kind of put the pieces together, it's really, really satisfying. That's like the main thing. That's the reason when you're doing it, as for all the reasons I've just explained. Funding applications are just boring. Meeting deadlines of funding applications is boring, and it's just a bit of a pain in the bum. But the rest of it is fine, really. It's just a little bit of logistics.
Like the admin side to it, there's not that much. It's just kind of annoying stuff. It's the paperwork side. It's the paperwork side that climbers are just not good at.
Well, I'm dyslexic, so it's just takes a bit longer, and it just always feels like a bigger task than it actually is when you sit down and actually do it. But no, it's fine. The insurance is all made really, really simple, and they send me reminders and everything, so that's brilliant. You send me going, how are you doing, and stuff, which is really good. So I get like a little morale boost of hooray, people care, and I'm supported. It's good. And I've got really good parents who turn up. So that's really, really important.
Really helpful.
Really
helpful.
important.
The most important part about for any club is those parent volunteers that.
Definitely.
They're the ones that keep it going.
Yes. And I will hopefully be organised and be passing the baton on when we go and have our Canadian adventure, so that it actually continues, because I think that's a big risk, is that when one parent's kids kind of go off it or grow up or they move on, that it will sort of fizzle out. So that's we're going to put strategies in place to make sure that
absolutely, and keep me in the loop on that, because I want to be sort of involved in that handover and just make sure things don't snowball.
Thank you.
I've got you back.
Snowballs! Woo!
Yeah, you're going to go play with snowballs. I'm going to be in a rainy August in Scotland. So for not just running a club, but clubs in general, like good stuff, bad stuff. For you guys doing all the admin stuff and the organisation and then running the sessions.
The good stuff is the
good stuff. The kids climbing.
The kids climbing. I don't know. I think of
It's a hard one, that, because you look at it from the outside, and it's kind of a scary world, taking on that kind of responsibility to do it. But once you're in it, it's not that scary.
No,
it's really not that scary. And you see all these kids getting climbing and absolutely loving it and following, following what you'd hope. So it's awesome.
I think parents, if they want to kind of they'll come, but to actually touch a rope. You know, they're like, if they're not familiar and they've never climbed, that feels really daunting. Like, oh my God, I'm going to be in charge of this responsibility and safety.
Yeah.
And it takes that takes a bit of time to kind of, you know, for things to become familiar and to show that this is simple and what you're going to be doing here. And we're all here and we're all checking and we have a process for checking and doing that safety. And suddenly they go, oh, actually, yeah. Oh, that's, yeah, I can do that.
It's not that
I can
bad.
do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
fine.
good, isn't it? Oh,
Yeah.
right, just,
Yeah.
But yeah, the perception is that it's very technical and it's going to be really difficult and stuff. And you're like, no, this is, and we're all here and we're all helping and we're all watching and we're all making it safe, so it's good.
No, absolutely. I think that's the main challenge that every club has got. If from the outside looking in, it looks all technical and it's a big level of responsibility. And for new people coming in, it's...
What if I drop somebody's child?
Yeah, it's, you know, you're not just belaying your own kids or setting stuff up for your own kids. It's other people's kids, and man, that's scary.
Totally.
But once you're in, it's like, oh, well, the rigging is no different from when I was doing it with my kids, and the belaying is no different from when I was doing it with my kids. It's actually totally fine.
And the checking process is here.
The buddy checks and everything is all there, so it's not actually that bad.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It just takes some people to make the leap of faith. Yeah. But it definitely helps when there are people like you that are so psyched that'll help them get into it. You know, like in all the clubs, the key factor is having really one person that is just mega psyched. Everyone gets a little bit of confidence from. You know, and again, I guess your mountain rescue stuff, all your team building stuff has helped with that. You know, hopefully.
I'm feeling all bashful now. I'm
She's blushing.
Gobbed off for it. Anyway.
Excellent. So I've gone through all my questions.
Well done.
That is as phew. It's done. Was it that scary?
No, it wasn't scary. No, it was all very friendly. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for
really
sitting down. That was a really good insight, especially into all the mountain rescue stuff. I know that is like the inside world of mountain rescue is something that a lot of people aren't. Really
hopefully it's useful. Hopefully,
so.
If it encourages a single person to come into the team,
Yeah.
especially the ladies, that would be really cool. Find out who your nearest team is and just email them. Drop them an email and see if they're recruiting, and I'll just have a chat and see. But it's a very, very rewarding part of. It's a big part of my life, and it's been very rewarding. Yeah.
And big shout out to all the mountain rescue teams. Much respect for the work that you guys do. It is phenomenal, and it is very much appreciated. And for anyone that is listening who wants to get involved, like Anna said, you can contact the mountain rescue teams. But you know, if you don't want to cause a call out, learn your stuff. Learn how to navigate, get the right kit, do all your planning properly. You know,
absolutely.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's all about the planning. Cool. Thanks for coming out and braving the muddy track down to the house today.
I did bottom out twice in the car.
Oh no!
I did. I bottomed out twice with my already broken bumper because
my
already broken bumper because Callum drove into a deer in my car.
Oh,
now that's on record. That's out there in the world. He's going to have to deal with the consequences of that.
Oh, thanks for coming
Excellent.
out. Lovely
Thank you very
to
much.
see you.
Yeah,
Cheers.
thank you.
That was brilliant. Thank you so much to Anna for sitting down for that little chat. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you like hearing from Anna just as much as I do. It is brilliant. She is just as wild as advertised. And because we can now get back out climbing in some way or another, this is the time to do your buddy checks. Now is not the time to be making silly mistakes because we've not checked each other. So please, everybody, make sure you do your buddy checks while you're at the crag. But yeah, get out there, have fun, stay safe, be responsible. We'll see you guys soon.